you. Thank you, Nancy, for the warm welcome, and also to Vanessa for the opportunity to be here, and my dear friend Joe Lubin, who will be here later in the afternoon. So I've just been back in the United States for only 3 months, having spent 3 years in Asia, working with many countries in the emerging market, and getting the first-hand experience of what it is like to understand and look at poverty in the eyes and look at where technology can help them raise the profile and be part of the digital economy. So here at World Bank Group, we focus on our twin goal of reducing extreme world poverty and increasing shared prosperity. Let me highlight the numbers to give you some ideas of what I'm talking about, because I think usually with the numbers, it gives us the ability to understand what the problem space may be. So this is from my colleague in the Findex group, where we look at the data to address financial inclusion. In 2017, this report was last published. We looked at the numbers of the unbanked. There's 1.7 billion of adult population around the world who are unbanked. That means they do not have access to all the digital economy that you and I have access to in a developed space. Now, you look at the number and says, what does that really mean? What's the comparison? Well, we look back in 2011, when the data was first published, it was 2.5 billion people, adults, around the world. So we made some progress. Now, the insights around here is the opportunity for connect. 2/3 of them are now on the mobile devices, and we can now connect with them and be able to encourage them to participate in the digital economy. However, the truth still remains that between men and women, there's still 7% less likely for women to have an account. That is depressing for me. As a strong woman advocate for women empowerment, I find that disheartening. But there's hope because of the connectedness of the mobile devices and the use of technology, such as blockchain, that empowers these women to transact in a secure manner, to give them access to the digital economy, to the capital for the small and medium enterprises, to give them a chance to be part of the solution, to design something that they care a lot about in order to inject the usability with the touch of the women. Now let's look at some of the numbers and also the pillars around enabling forces to make that happen. For universal access, we need to make sure that everyone have active usage, because without the active usage, you really do not get a change of behavior. Let's move up the chain from payments and loans to savings and investment. That creates sustainable behavior change. If you look at what World Bank Group is doing around the world, we are the largest development institution to bring together the impact, the social impact, together with the community in 3 Bs. The first B is building the digital economy, fundamentally, to enable different parts of the emerging markets to have shared access to opportunity and boosting the human capital in order for everyone to reach the highest potential and to have equal opportunity to education, to great technology around STEM education, so that more women and men can find jobs in the digital economy. And the last is around brokering, the convening power of this institution to bring together public-private partnership so we can go further and stronger together. Now, at the World Bank Group, we don't just talk about it. We want to understand what technology does to people around the world in the emerging market. So we experiment. So a year ago, we started the Innovation Lab. We first called the Blockchain Lab, and we looked into a few key use cases where blockchain can really impact a person's life. For instance, taking advantage of decentralization model, we enable and empower the users to have full access from anywhere and be able to have full transparency of that information. And that is powerful, because the technology would then surface a lot of the hidden and opaque issues to create integrity. in the ecosystem. The other thing is around digital identity. This is the cornerstone of a lot of financial inclusion challenge for refugees, for people who do not even have a piece of paper to say who they are. Now they can be part of the ecosystem with blockchain and digital identity. There are challenges. So there are a lot of areas where the policymakers and central banks, regulators are thinking through hard. These are areas that are experimenting and exploring as well. When I was in Asia, I worked closely with all the central banks to help them understand what it means to engage more around the blockchain community, to understand what is the implication, balancing risk and encouraging innovation at the same time. Working with Monetary Authority of Singapore on Project Ubin, that was phase 2 for real-time gross settlement, and now they're into phase 3 to work together with the community in the ASEAN region. Now, as I describe all the potential, I put together the emerging technologies categories for development in order to drive social impact. This is where there's huge potential to look into the enabling environment that talk about empowering everyone in the population who are unbanked to not just partake in the payment space, but also into savings and investment and insurance. This is where we bring together a lot of the emerging technology, AI and blockchain, and so many other cool technology that really brings the world together in the digital space. And the opportunity to really go deeper into the access and affordability and also active usage for these people to change the behavior so that they have a chance to be part of the ecosystem. We talked a lot about blockchain over the last few years. There's been a lot of interest and proof of concept. Now is the time for us to really take some of these ideas to bring it into the hands of the people who are at the base of the pyramid so that they can have a chance, an equal opportunity to change their fate. Now, this is where we can really create the opportunity to focus on the way they can transact better, the way they can think about the next generation to create the opportunity for the sustainable future. And with this, I hope that we'll all join forces together to create a sustainable ecosystem so that we can create the space for everyone in order to change the fate and reduce world poverty by 2030, extreme world poverty, and increase shared prosperity. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful conference.